So you're thinking about selling your home and you want to prepare it so you can maximize the speed that you're selling the house, and also you can maximize the money you're going to be able to get. Now, as somebody that works quite a bit with buyers, I wanted to do this video and talk to you about the 10 tips of how to prepare your house for sale based on buyers' feedback that I'm getting. This video is really about helping you make those preparations so that when you're ready to talk to a listing agent, you're already a step ahead. If you're new to my channel, my name is Katrin.pfitzenreiter. I'm a real estate agent in Sarasota County and Manatee County region. If you're looking to sell your home, I would love to talk to you. Call me anytime. I used to be a marketing executive, so marketing and videography is in my wheelhouse and is absolutely one of the value propositions that I can provide sellers, and that is showcasing your home in the best way possible while also utilizing my social media reach in order to garner the attention of buyers. If you're selling a house that's not a fixer-upper, there are just some basic rules that you should think about following in order to maximize the potential to selling the house quickly at the highest price. In today's world, homes that are well priced, so I would say fair value, and that show really nicely are going to sell a lot faster. If a house needs a lot of work, if it's not well priced, it can literally stay on the market for 90 days, 120 days, maybe even longer than that. But if it's well priced, it shows beautifully. I've seen multiple offer situations still and homes going under contract within a week's time, sometimes just a few days. And that's what this video is about, is to maximize the potential for you to be a super happy seller. And we're going to start off with number one, and that is, first off, you're going to want to make sure that when somebody walks towards your house, that the curb appeal has been optimized, because it's the first impression. It's just no different than you meeting a person for the first time. If a person is, clean cut and they have a nice smile on their face, it's more likely that you are going to like the person. It's the same with the home. If the home is clean and inviting looking, as soon as they walk towards the door, they'll already have a pretty positive feeling about the house. You can start off with the walkway, just making sure that the walkway to the home is cleaned. If it's pavement, maybe get it power washed. You want to make sure that the grass is mowed, that there's no dirty surfaces outside. If you have gutters, make sure the gutters are cleaned. If you have fences around the house, just make sure that those are power washed. Just keep everything nice and clean outside. Maybe put some mulch around the front of the house just to kind of dress that up as well from a visual standpoint. Now, as a buyer moves in towards the home, you want to make sure that the front door is also inviting looking, and perhaps it may make sense to repaint the front door. Maybe it looks perfectly fine. Just make sure it's clean and inviting. All right, so now the buyer is moving inside of the house. Of course, you want to make sure that the house is clean. If you're not somebody that's really good at cleaning, it might make sense to get somebody hired in to really deep clean the house, make sure the kitchen is clean, the flooring is clean. The last thing you want is a buyer to move through the house and think, oh my God, this house is so dirty. If the house is so dirty, I can only imagine how they've knocked with the repair of the house, with treating the house a certain way. So cleanliness of a house is really, really important. I've heard quite a lot of buyers say when we walked through a home that maybe wasn't as tidy, that it was a turnoff to them, because to them it means if the house isn't tidy, that the seller probably didn't take care of the house. Open the space and make it look bright. With that said, you might want to even declutter it. When a buyer moves through the home, there's two things you're going to want to ensure that they're able to do, and that is to be able to envision their life in that house. And that means envisioning their furniture in the different rooms. But in order for them to do that, they also have to be able to envision the layout. If the house is very cluttered, if you have a lot of furniture in there, it's going to be very hard for them to envision themselves living there. Just put yourself in their shoes. If you're walking through a home and it's filled with furniture and pictures all over the walls and knickknacks, how can you foresee yourself living in there? Keep it open, keep it bright, keep it light. If you have curtains, if you have shutters, make sure that the curtains are open, shutters are open. You want as much natural light to flow inside of the house. Most of my buyers that I work with, they tell me, I want a house that's very bright, very uplifting, has a lot of natural light coming in. To help the illusion of the home being very bright, it does help to keep the colors of the walls a neutral color, preferably white. So if I had to spend my money anywhere as a home seller, I would actually spend my money in either doing it myself, but coloring the walls white, or hiring somebody, because it could have a huge positive effect in the eyes of a buyer. So keep the walls as neutral in color as possible. If they are not right now, I would absolutely consider hiring somebody, or again, doing it yourself. Painting walls isn't so hard, especially if you have a smaller house that you're working with. Number 5 is you want to make sure that you remove anything that's personal, whether it's your photos, maybe you're somebody that's taking medicine, remove the medicine. You absolutely don't want anybody to even see that you have medicine in the house for a couple of reasons. You don't want them to steal it, but also you just don't want to shape somebody's perception of you. You don't want to have anything religious, nothing political, because at the end of the day, you don't want there to be a barrier between you and the buyer. Now, if you're somebody that has smoked in the house, I suggest that if you're really serious about selling your house, that for one, you start just smoking outside of your house. Just step outside and smoke outside. I have read some reports that basically said that a home where a smoker has lived in can sell for approximately 40% less than if it were a home from a non-smoker. So if you're somebody that has heavily smoked inside of the house and the house smells like smoke, you're gonna wanna make sure that you clean all the surfaces. So if you have carpet in the home, you might want to get that professionally cleaned. If the walls are stained, you're going to want to get that cleaned, and maybe have a friend of yours come over that is not a smoker and have them kind of smell it to see if the efforts you put into cleaning the house, if it's paid off. But you do want to get rid of the smell. You just don't want that to become a barrier for a potential buyer that is a non-smoker. If you're a smoker or a non-smoker, you just want to make sure that the house smells fresh before showing. Your listing agent should be helping you with this as well, but I would just air out the home, let some fresh air move in. And in some cases, it may even make sense to buy air fresheners, especially those that have kind of like a citrusy smell. Those are always really well received by buyers. Before you list your house, make sure that all of the hardware in the home is working, that they're tight. Last thing you want is somebody to, say, open up your refrigerator and the refrigerator handle falls off. You just want everything to look like it's in perfect functioning condition. Basic things should all be operational, from plumbing to heating to the AC. Everything structurally should be sound, and if it's not, then definitely get it fixed, because it's going to come up during the inspection period anyways. Now lastly is flooring. If you have any cracks in the flooring, if you have tiles missing, definitely get those fixed beforehand. If the carpet is super dirty or super worn out, it might actually make sense to get that repaired or actually complete changed over to new carpeting before you go and list the house. Now, if it's a fixer-upper, then in that case, buyers can be ready to put a lot of work into their home, right? And so fixing up the carpet in that case isn't really going to matter much. But if you're selling a house and it's not a fixer-upper, it's a house that's maybe $500 to $1 million, the basics need to be working. The flooring needs to not have any issues. Structurally, it needs to be sound. I hope you enjoyed this video. I actually have a seller's guide. So if you're looking to sell your house in the Sarasota County, Manatee County region, call me. I would love to come in and provide you with a listing presentation, allowing you to see what I could do in order to help you list your home and get it sold so that you walk out of the deal very happy. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Take care.